And hello, ladies and gentlemen, to a match between the Protoss player Mao's Mana competing on Shakuras Plateau against the Zerg player Liquid Haypro. Two very well liked players in the community, both very nice guys. Haypro, we're still waiting for his major breakout win. He's one of the best players around. He was one of the best players in Brood War, at least in the foreign scene. And he's up there. He's got the skill and the talent, and we've seen some pretty impressive results out of him. But still waiting for that first elusive victory. Not like it's easy to win these major tournaments. It's extremely difficult, especially with all the foreigners having to compete against the many Korean players that have been coming over now, who have basically been dominating every single tournament. So the competition is tough, but everyone knows that Hater has it in him to take a victory. So we'll see how he does today against Mouse Mana on Shakuras Plateau. Up to 13 drones so far, nothing of note yet. Mouse Mana looking to Forge Expand most likely. In the words of Naniwa, Forge, Fast Expand, or Die Trying. And this is not a bad map for it. It's got a double ramp. So there's a ramp going up into the natural and up into the main. And it's not that wide of a ramp. It's not as bad as Tal'Darim Altar, let's say. So it's not that bad with good SimCity. You can hold this off against even Roach All-Ins. But I don't think Haypro is going to be going for a Roach All-In. He's one of the better mechanic players. Very solid macro, very good in late games. Takes advantage of his very good mechanics and positioning and just sheer overwhelming armies to take wins. So I'd be a little surprised if he does go for a Roach All-In, but there is no expansion yet. Usually we'll see one as the spawning pool is about to finish. So if Protoss tries any shenanigans with Forge, with cannon rushes, the Zerglings can take care of it. And oh, wow, nice. He snuck the hatchery in there, and Mana wasn't able to block it. So good job of Haypro getting that hatchery down, but it's about the same time as the Nexus goes down. So both players just continuing to drone and probe up. Mana, a little supply blocked, but it's not too big of a deal. He needs to spend a lot of minerals getting up some infrastructure and some SimCity here. So it's pretty common for around 17 or 18 supply for pro production to stop for a little bit while all the buildings go up. So not that big of a deal. First cannon goes down. We'll see if there's any more. But I think Mana will probably stick to one cannon for now and plant another gateway or cyber core to plug up the wall for now. So going for his second gas, and Haypro getting his queen out. No tech yet, no gas yet. Hatchery not quite done yet. We'll see if he transfers probes or drones, but still no gas. We'll see how far he takes it. There's a lot of popular strategies where you don't take your gas until 30, 40 supply even. Usually involves a lot of spine crawlers and queens for defense. And oh, look at that. Before the 5-minute mark, another hatchery, and that's pretty standard timing. One of the other ways to compete against Forge Expands is just going for a quick third, and there's really nothing that Protoss can do about it short of a cannon rush on the third, which usually doesn't happen. He could send some zealots in to pressure, but either way it's pretty easy to shut down any aggression on the third until Void Rays come out, and that's one of the most popular offensive strategies to take out that Zerg third is by going quick Void Rays. So we'll see what happens here. Still not much tech. Both players just droning up. Only one gateway out for Mana, and still no gases. So we're all the way up to 37 supply, 38, 41 supply, all drones, 5 drones at a time, 2 queens, 3 hatcheries, no gas, and 2 extractors go down just now, about 43 supply. So there's the gasless expands that are pretty common. If this works, and Zerg gets such a huge lead, he's already up to 33, 37 drones, and we'll see that shoot up to about 50 drones before Haypro commits much resources to any units. Back in the Protoss space, we see a third gas coming down, 150 gas stored up. Wouldn't be surprised to see, okay, there we go, some tech finally coming out, robotics facility, and a pylon, another pylon. No gates yet. We can see the vision of both players. Mana still does not know about the third base, but I'm pretty sure he's got a feeling that there is another hatchery going down, because that's what Zerg do. They throw down hatcheries, especially against turtle expands like this. And will Hater see anything? Not yet. Not yet. Nothing. Nothing. And the Overlord goes down. Doesn't see anything. Only sees a pylon, 2 pylons. So we'll see if he sacrifices another one. There we go. Thinking twice about it. Oh, he should. He's gonna send it around, but he should send it right there to see that robotics facility. So that's a little bit unfortunate. He was just inches away from seeing that, but he didn't. And 8 more roaches coming down, or 8 more drones coming down, 2 more gases, speed coming out, roach run going down, and looks like a lair is going up. The lair is going up. Speed's not even done. We got +1 ground armor coming along, and the warp prism, and +1 ground. So ground armor coming down for both players. And Mana going for the warp prism. We'll see what he does with that. And the 4th hatchery is coming down from here. And there's the 6 Zerg macro that Haypro is known for. 8 more drones coming out. So he'll be well up to 60 drones. 47 harvesters for Mana though. If he's still making more, no probes coming out yet, but he's a little supply block with 3 pylons coming down, so no big deal. Going for +1 armor, it's a little interesting. I bet he's going to go for a lot of zealots, since zealots have more health and the armor is worth more. But a lot of zealots against roaches, it can work if you get good force fields, but we can see Haypro doesn't make any roaches. He's making a lot of speedlings, and the Mutalisk Den goes down. Well, Spire, Mutalisk Den. I guess it's a den. And, oh, how did I miss that? Here we go. Haypro had Zerglings in position to stop it. It's so important. He has to get these sentries down, or these force fields will never stop coming. But I don't think, I don't know if Mana's gonna have. Oh, there we go. Look at all those zealots, and this can go on basically forever. This is huge. The Spire is definitely gonna go down, and there's no way that Haypro's gonna be able to get enough units out. He still has 2 sentries. I don't know how much energy is left in this one. This one, oh, he's got 1 or 2 force fields, 1 force field. And he's going to warp in more zealots. So, wow, that's terrible. He's lost so many. Oh, no, he's only lost 4 workers, but he lost his lair. He lost his spire, but another spire smartly is going up, and he got 6 Mutalisks out before that. So, pretty bad for Haypro, but he still has a spawning pool. He still has a roach horn. He still has most of his drones, even though 11 have gone down. 12 workers killed, 36 units killed, a lair, the spire, and he knows what's going on. So Mana's going to have a lot of time to prepare for these Mutalisks, since only 5 of them are out and 6 more on the way. Blink will be done in time. He's only on 2 bases, and he can build cannons, and he's trying to put down a 3rd, so he needs to be careful. These Mutalisks can do a lot of damage if Mana is not careful. But Haypro, he has 3 bases up aside from the lair, so it's bad losing that tech, or losing the lair, but he already has the tech he wants with the Mutalisk. He managed to get a spire up before the lair went down, so that didn't send him back too far. It sent him back resources, and the timings work out in Mana's favor more, since he's able to get Blink out now, but it wasn't the end of the game. If he didn't have this hatchery up here, it might have been the end of the game. It would have been 2 base against 2 base, and Haypro lost all that tempo, he lost all his resources, but since that 4th was up, and he still has 69, 71 drones, so he's still in good shape, and wisely going back, destroying these. So he'll be able to pressure this base from all sides. I don't think Mana's aware of this yet. No, he's not. He's not aware of this, so that's going to be terrible. And now he's going to say what's going on. But if those rocks go down, Haypro can attack from 2 sides here while sending the Mutalisks into the main, and that's a lot of Mutalisks. He's already up to 15 Mutalisks, and they might be able to take these head on, but they have +1 armor, which works amazingly well against Mutalisk splash damage. So I'm not sure who would win in a fight, but this is important. It's putting mana in defensive mode. He's getting Archons out, which are good defense, but it's still not going to be safe to take this expansion, especially with these rocks just about down. There's 3 attack paths, not to mention the Mutalisks that can swoop in at any time and pressure. So holding this third is going to be extremely difficult, let alone expanding away from it. And Haypro, he has his main hatchery back up. He has his lair back up, making another queen. He's getting upgrades in his spire. He's getting upgrades in his evo chamber. He's 20 workers ahead, building a baneling nest, and he's on 4 mining bases. So mana's, he's behind. He's only 10 behind in food, which at this point in the game you would usually expect the Zerg to be up more here. You know, another 25-30 supply up here. So mana's not really that far out of it. He did damage. He's got a really strong army. Ling Zergling can't really do too much against this. Banelings will be useless because of all the force field. Look at this. This is 5 sentries with full force fields. So that's 20 force fields and Guardian Shields, which make those Mutalisks do almost no damage. With Storm is done, and he has enough energy for it. So in a head-on collision, mana would probably win this battle. At this point, I'm not sure Banelings are the way to go. They could work, but probably not. We'll see what happens. And there we go. Storm's going down everywhere, and the Banelings. Oh my God, the Banelings all connect. All of the Banelings connect. Oh my God, he lost everything. These Mutalisks are hurt, but there's so many of them. 3 supply groups, almost 30 Mutalisks. And those Banelings, those sentries did nothing. They couldn't get any good force fields out. It looks like mana just wasn't ready for that. And these Mutalisks are just going to fly away and heal up. And now I feel like the supply 186 to 114. And the Great Wall of Spine Crawlers are going down. This is very common. It's a great way to dump minerals for Zerg. It's a great way to clear supply of drones so you can build more units. And there's not many ways to go around it. You have to go through these Spine Crawlers one way or another to be aggressive. So it's a great call. These Mutalisks are healing up nicely. And Haypro's going to check for a third base, but he doesn't see if the Overlord's there. So now he's being aggressive, going straight into the natural, going up. This is more than enough Mutalisks. Oh, Storm's going down on the Mutalist, though. He loses a couple, but flies away. But still, the drain of Storm energy is huge. I'm not sure this is great. There's a lot of Storms. There's a lot of cannons. Storm's going down on this Banelings. Banelings going to connect. Can they connect? Can they connect? Almost all of those probes go down. And Mutalisks are extremely hurt. He lost over half of his Mutalisks to those Storms, cannons, and Stalkers, and they're all hurt. There's about 4 Mutalisks worth of health left in this flock. Army supply is plummeted. He lost about 60 supply there, and mana lost basically nothing. And that's mana's queue with this huge Stalker army and 1 lone High Templar and the Observer watching it, denying that base. He'll move through. These Spine Crawlers will slow him down, but that's more than enough Stalkers to power through it. And there's really no defenses. We have 62 Speedlings coming out. That's going to be huge. Mana really needs more Storms. Oh, the 1 High Templar goes down, and all of these Mutalisks are probably going to go down. The Speedlings can't get there in time. There's just starting to roll in now with some Banelings, so Mana will have to retreat. But he's keeping that army count low. And those Mutalisks are so hard. And more importantly, he's keeping those Mutalisks from harassing. And that's one of the hardest things for Protoss to deal with is this giant flock of Mutalisks. It gets to a point where there's so many Mutalisks that cannons just do nothing. 3 cannons here will go down in 3 shots to 30 Mutalisks. So it's really important to be aggressive and keep them fighting. Mana will lose this Nexus. Yeah, that's going down. And the Speedlings will mostly run away. So that's a good win for Haypro there. But looking at his bases, he still has a lot of minerals here. He still has a decent amount here. His 3rd, almost full. His 4th, full. Trying to get that 5th base down now. So he's not doing bad on the economy front. He is down to 64 Harvesters. So the Harvesters are evened up, and he's droning up a little bit more. That's still not a bad number. It's a good amount. He doesn't need that much gas, because since he's mostly dumping gas into the Mutalisks, and Speedlings are basically free, especially when you're on 5 bases. But he probably needs some tech switches soon, which is exactly what we're going to see here. We see 6 Infestors coming out with Pathogen Glands gonna finish first. Burrow coming along, +2 armor as well as +2 flyer carapace. And I've seen this question come up on Reddit a couple of times in different forums. When do you get armor over attack for Mutalisks? And the general answer is if you plan on using your Mutalisks in a battle, armor is good to get. Especially against Protoss, because Stalkers only do 13 damage to light units, which Mutalisks happen to be. And with +1 armor, that's down to 12, +2 armor, it's down to 11, and that's 120 health, so it takes over 10, 11 shots to kill one Mutalisk. So armor is pretty important, especially again against Protoss. The Glaive Worm splash damage basically gets nullified by one Guardian Shield, so attack isn't that useful. But here we have a bunch of Blink Stalkers blinking into the natural, and these are all forfeit. He's did a lot of damage, sending Haypro down to 55 workers. But these Stalkers are definitely going to die. But he did so much damage. Oh no, they're not. Reinforcements coming in with some storms. Haypro down to 7 Zerglings. And that's it. Mana with a huge offensive, rolling right in. I missed the entire engagement because I'm a terrible, terrible observer. I'm not sure where those Infestors went. It looks from the splash, from the damage done, that the Infestors landed some fungals, but it's just not enough. And with all this momentum and low tech and absolutely no minerals for Haypro, Haypro has no minerals. Where is his economy? Where is his economy? These mineral lines are not nearly saturated enough. And that's probably going to be it. And that's GG from Haypro. So pretty good game, pretty good back and forth. I think Haypro stayed on those Ling mutas a little too long. If he got those Infestors out just a minute earlier, this attack probably wouldn't have gone this way. But good game overall. We saw some pretty solid macro, but in the end, the aggressiveness of Mana was able to win him the game.